Hello everybody, this is part 2. I got 19 minutes left of the video that for some reason magically cut off right when I was transitioning from a subject on page 7 to page 8. I was mentioning that if you can control your mood and your nutrition and your environment, you can control, I should say mood, your neurotransmitters that are built, informed, and maintained, and your nutrition to make that happen, and your environment, that they're not depleted, you're not exposed to toxins, that you can pretty much then met out success over your life decade after decade like I've done. That means that if I'm again hitting 60 and I've been, I don't know, the same success level in many things despite many challenges. I mean, trust me, I spent 5 years to a decade battling tremendous challenges, but I did come back out of them because I fought back using intelligent brain strategies, mindset strategies, learning strategies, nutritional strategies, avoiding toxins, and of course exercise strategies. That's key, is tremendous exercise strategies. And I mentioned at the end of that small clip of 30 seconds, we just right after cut off, something called myokines, and that's when this film went out. Myokines are short-lived, well, not really short-lived, but they're neurotransmitter endocrine type. I'm gonna look this piece of paper up just to have fun with it. It's a hormone-like substance in the body. Myokine comes from myocytes in the cell. The myocytes are the cells of the muscles. Myocytes, C-Y-T-E, sites, C-Y-T-E, sites, C-Y-T-E-S. And the myokines, K-I-N-E-S, get skipped as being information that we could look at for changing mood and altering health and success in the body. I make a whole video on that coming up, so that'll come in the future. Skipping that now, going into the next subject, self-sabotage. How and why do we self-sabotage? Here's what I was saying. When it was, the phone was, the camera was shut off. What is self-sabotage? It's not really self-sabotage, but it's all self-sabotage. It's a misnomer and it's not. Meaning that the name applies and does not. When you have something self-sabotage, it could just be something like you ran out of neurotransmitters. You didn't sabotage yourself, you just couldn't keep going. You could have been hit by a toxin or an EMF field that threw you off your game, or someone's perfume, or some exhaust from the bus threw your brain out and you couldn't think because it got toxin in your brain, and all of a sudden you were literally coughing for a second, then you lost your train of thought. It's not self-sabotage. That's a toxin interacting with your body's field, your biofield. Either your biofield or your bloodstream or your respiratory field. Any one of those things, but even your skin receptivity from sunlight. The clouds, all of a sudden it got cloudy, your mood changes. It can happen, right? You know that. So when you're looking at how we self-sabotage, I say the real answer is look at every weakness as a shortcoming that is only a sabotage incident or a sabotage pattern that's really not necessarily that. It's an area you can look at, an indication of what can be addressed to create a situation in which that stops occurring. Better environment, better lighting, air cleaners, better rules around who comes into their building if they got smelly colognes, better food in the cafeteria, better food on your desk, more breaks, more stretching breaks, more exercise breaks, a picture of something that's motivating next to you that you can look at when you get stressed out. Find strategies that prevent you from having the experience of a sabotage, or that you haven't set up something to prevent self-sabotage or prevent coming up short on something. It's all it is, it's coming up short. So when we look at that, the term shows up because we have to know that the limbic system is involved in the emotional brain. You have to be able to learn and unlearn to avoid having habitual self-sabotage. You need to have a higher brain with conscious critical thinking and logic, as well as the limbic system for emotional brain, and enough strength in the reptilian brain for everything. The way you're working with your diaphragm, your breathing, and your gut, and your digestion, and elimination, all that's the vagus nerve stuff, and that's really important. We'll get into vagus nerve in a second. You literally need to have all these things on your side that all bad things are increasingly less likely to happen. And that means if something is happening, you can go back and look at cleaning and balancing the body and healing the body, looking at better nutrition, better lifestyle, better brain health, again, stronger limbic system, better posture, better awareness, even better data. So you know what the right data looking to, like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, I'm doing that instead. It means you have more data. And the data can be used to make better choices. Like, oh, I didn't think of putting a picture on my desk. I didn't think that the lighting matters. And once you put the data into action, you can get ahead of these things. There's less self-sabotage. Means more time getting traction in your life and more time being successful, which makes for a better executive, or a better child, or a better student, or a better parent, or a better tasker, or a better business owner, whatever you're doing, better athlete. Okay? Now, when you get good at that, you can become a better inner ninja, more aware, and a better inner athlete. So we're going to talk about those things. Now we're on to page 9 and 10. And we got 10 minutes to go. We're doing really well. Over 10 minutes to go. Here's what we talk about interoception. Interoception has 2 R's. Interoception. It's like form of intuition. And this interoception, it doesn't just come from the gut. It doesn't just come from the brain stem. It has a higher brain function, a midbrain function, especially midbrain, where it's the ventral medial prefrontal cortex. Ventral meaning not dorsal in the back, but ventral meaning to the front. Medial meaning the middle part of the brain. Prefrontal to the front, middle part of the brain. And cortex of the brain. That's really important because that's where everything is interpreted. And if it's interpreted there, it's interpreted via the soma, which is, I call the body, the soma, and using information gathered from the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the thing you talk about, the vagal tone, the vagus nerve, not Vegas like in LA or in Nevada, but the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the human body. There are 12 nerves in the brain. 12 nerves in the brain. One leaves the brain. It's called the vagus nerve. It's called the wandering nerve, the Christ nerve, because the Christ, the wanderer. And it wanders to every single organ and gland in the body except for the adrenals. And if you're lucky, you'll lock into adrenals maybe a little bit, but in general, it does not. And it connects to everything, your gut, your pancreas, your lungs, your heart, intestines, the spleen, the kidneys. Everything gets tucked in there. All the hormones, the ovaries, the testes, everything gets tucked in there. And you get 9 signals coming up to the brain from every 1 signal going down to ask you questions and to gather data. 9 come up and say, hey, we got information coming here. If you're broken here, the vagus nerve is poorly functioning, poor vagal tone, poor function. I'm an expert at that. I have a whole video on vagal tone and how to awaken that. It's on my Better Results personal training page. It's on the blog called Do You Have a Fountain of Youth in Your Body? Yes, you should. If you don't have a fountain of your body, something's broken, and you have to address that. Again, not my job. I'm an expert. You're the one running your life. You have the instrument that you need for your life to function. You better learn how that thing works. You better learn how to make that thing better. You better learn to tune that instrument. And I teach people how to tune their instrument. I don't take responsibility for that. I take responsibility for being a good, gifted explainer, point to where you can find the information, and point to where you're making mistakes. But I can't do the work for you. It's your job to go look these things up. It's your job to practice, and practice like a violin person, or practice like a math person, or practice like anybody in any other sport, or in the business, or even becoming a better reader of a foreign language. It's your job to practice. That's where that comes in. And over time, if you practice using your vagus nerve, you get better at it. And here's the important. It's a 2-way communication pathway, but any gut or spine problem is going to cost you in your health, in your intelligence, in your success. If your gut is out, as I said, be vegan, be plant-based, and be healthy. No toxins. Healthy, digestible food, not stupid stuff. Many people do veganism so stupidly, it's crazy. And I run across it. Spinal problems, if your spine is not healthy, if your posture is not good, if you don't have spacing in your vertebrae, if those things are off and you have poor vagal tone, you're going to have so many problems making success. And that's why the other weight trainers do not get results many times. They don't know about the vagus nerve, they don't know about the limbic system, don't know about how to connect that all, don't know how to address these, they don't know how to reprogram anybody. They don't know. They haven't spent decades doing this like I have. And so, impaired interoception that comes from all this, impaired interoception, impaired intuition, means impaired intelligence and impaired emotional awareness. You're done. You're stuck in no gears. You're stuck in spinning wheels. You're stuck in making bad decisions. Let's cover that. It disrupts proper decision making when interoception is not in place. It means that if you can't, because interoception, if you have no feelings that you can interpret meaningfully, you can't make decisions. People can't find themselves because they don't know what they feel, or they have so much information they don't know how to sort through it. So it's either they can't feel what they're feeling, or they can't sort through it in a meaningful way. And your sense of self is tied into that, your feelings. Literally, your emotions. You must know how that works. And therefore, great interoception is so rare, we've got 10 minutes to go, that great interoception is so rare that without it, You just find out people don't do well, and the other person does not do well. I'm just being honest. That's why they're average. Okay? So exceptional people tend to, if they're exceptional in athletic ways, as well as like the great brain or the great at music, but across the board exceptional, like I'm talking exceptional across the board almost always, that person probably has great interoception. And that means they have higher spiritual intelligence, neurotransmitter intelligence, neurotransmitter regulation, dynamism in their body. They have mood agility. They call it mood agility. They can switch their moods and go, okay, I think I'll be happy now because I've decided I'm angry long enough. I've been pissed off or intense too long. I'm gonna relax. And just relax. And just chill. Because they can switch gears with their singular gyrus, part of the limbic system. Now, that's why I like to talk about what it is to be vegan again. Because when you eat animals, every time you eat an animal, you're ingesting the trauma that was registered in that animal's cell membrane. The cell membrane is registered right in the cell membrane. It's inevitable you're going to encounter it. It's in the flesh. It's in the fascia. Every bit of flesh has fascia, connective tissue. See, it's called fascia. That muscular fascia, it's registered in there. It's in the flesh, in the myofibrils. It's in the fascia. It's in the connective tissue. It's registered. It's trauma. You're eating trauma. You're ingesting trauma. It's only going to cost you. It's going to weaken your kidney, your adrenals. Your limbic system's going to get fried over time. Your brain becomes scattered, and you get inflammation. You don't want that. So what you're looking at is how to get emotional intelligence, social intelligence, adaptability, agility, those quotients in the brain. Again, IQ, EQ, SQ, AQ, which they call adversity quotient. I like to call it adaptability quotient is a better one, or agility quotient. Why call it what they call it? Again, they have strategies that create trauma, and if they call it adversity quotient, you have to have adversity for it to work. I like agility quotient or adaptability quotient. But again, IQ, SQ is social quotient, IQ, intelligent quotient, emotional quotient, EQ, those are obvious. We'll talk about those in a bit. But to be an extremely dynamic individual, you have to have a healthy body, healthy gut, healthy brain, and healthy gear shifter. The gear shifter is your singular gyrus. It allows you to go from thing to thing. And the limbic system is composed of that. I already mentioned hypothalamus on top, observes, it's the observer system, the overseer system. Pituitary is the middle manager system. It's right in the middle of that limbic system. Then you've got the hippocampus, the memory center, near the base in the brain. Hippocampus, looking like a hippo, they say. And it has the memory center, the association center, the recall center. The amygdala is at the base, and it's the emotional center. So everything comes into the vagus, especially directly. And the amygdala is really important because it's literally tied to our social processing. It is how we get our social cues is through the amygdala, if the gut's working especially. And it processes emotions and fears. It practices even anxiety. If your amygdala is easily triggered, you can have lots of fear and anxiety in your system. And if you're lucky, it's just involved in forming lots of memories. So I use the amygdala and the neurotransmitters to form new memories while people train. That's why I talk with certain tones. And in fact, my tone right now is designed to trigger your amygdala in your limbic system. That's why I shout, that's why I gesture, that's why I move in and out of the camera, because that triggers the limbic system in your body, not just the higher brain. Why talk like this, and here's the information, here's the data, look at this chart. I don't do that, because if I get your amygdala going, I can get your soma involved, which heightens your amygdala limbic system, and you can form new thoughts and clear out old thoughts and override thoughts that don't serve you. So my whole tone is designed to actually heal people and give them data and give them information in a way that transcends their old program, replaces their old program, and brings them forward. I'm the only trainer that does that consciously, I think, all the time, and knows why I do it consciously and how I do it. Other people might do it consciously. Oh, I think it's good for them, they say, like I used to do, but I know why I do it and what it works and how it works, and I know the skills involved in describing it and how to nuance it and when to step back. So I'm not always screaming, but it means that I'm teaching people not only how to do it from listening to me, but how to become involved in their own chatter internally, that they are involved better at learning and unlearning, and their emotional and skill building, in sensitive skill building, in social skill building, through their own practice of limbic system activity and awareness, that they can learn to play their own character more fully. They might like public speaking for the first time. They might like teaching more than ever. They might like being a parent to a teenager for the first time. And they might find themselves enjoying being a parent to a teenager, or running across the person that they could never talk to before because they were the crazy uncle or the person they couldn't deal with, and now they're not getting triggered. They're instead finding them with themselves agility, managing to work around it and saying, "Oh, I handled that pretty well." Or a client, if you have clients or you're a business owner with customers, I have to have people figure out, as I mentioned in the video with Doug Llewellyn, what about people that have a client and suddenly come in upset, or a customer comes in upset, my customers, not because of me, but from other issues. I'm like, oh, let's deal with that. They're mad about work. They're mad about their mother. They're mad about their child. They're mad about what happened with this or that. We can talk about it, so that's useful. So what that means is that over time, there's this huge, I'm going to read the words. It's a healthy appreciation with healthy ideas can get in the brain. If you don't have a storage pattern of healthy ideas in your hippocampus, you might not have a lot to go back to. If all you have is trauma memories and all you have is negative memories and associations or dysfunctional ones because your best memory is of sausage and hot dogs when you were a kid and cheese, and you're going to crave those things because you have associations of that felt good, I like that. And you're going to crave dysfunctional things like alcohol, sugar, donuts. You'll crave bad things because you haven't replaced them with, oh, I think I'm craving a carrot. I think I'm craving asparagus. I think I'm craving this particular thing, and I can put a particular spice on it. I'm going to love that. And you can put that new memory in your hippocampus, and it becomes a skill that's so reliable in your hippocampus as a memory and association that your gut will crave that now instead of the other one. That's how you build success over time. You don't have to abandon anything. You just gradually begin to replace one thought molecule in one hippocampal memory association with a brand new one that's more functional. Like the idea, I can't talk to people becomes I can talk to people, or I can't speak in public, I can speak in public, or I love speaking in public, or I love finding a chance for me to play on stage with my music before I used to only play in the basement, or whatever you like doing. That's how that works. So the limbic system is your key to gaining traction and success. Learning to work with your hippocampus, learning to work with your amygdala, learning to work with your neurotransmitters, learning how to do it dietarily and with exercise. And actually, there's a little bit of time to cover this idea of myokines, but I think I'll still leave it. And I'll remind you again, you can look up on Better Results Personal Training Facebook page and the Better Results Personal Training website. You can go to Organic Vegan Trainer Facebook page and Organic Vegan Trainer website. I recommend both, they're different. You can go to Ageless Personal Training website and Ageless Fitness Institute on Facebook. That's a nice place to go for tons of information. You make the phone call, you're going to get an interview. And that's good for you because you'll get a sense of where you're at. You'll learn how to ask questions. You go many levels why. You can watch the video with Doug Llewellyn. You can watch the video with Jim Masters. Or it's not a video, it's actually a radio program. But it'll be me talking. And I'll talk differently and I'll talk on various subjects. I've got 2 more to go coming up on each Monday in the beginning of February here. I think it's the 3rd and the 10th. So February 3rd and February 10th, I have 2 more interviews. And I can put them in the comments as well. Feel free to leave a comment. I think it went very successfully. And I think there's a lot of room for growth and learning from this video because it's very detailed. I didn't leave anything out. I got a minute left. So I'm impressed and happy that it went so well. Hope you also felt it went very well. Maybe took some notes. If not, you can replay it because I didn't get lost anywhere in there in a big way, and it only is in 2 sections, so it's not too bad. All right, so again, this is part 2 of the part 1. Go back there, watch that first section, and that's about it, everybody. So right now it's Saturday. It's February 1st, 2025, and this has been Doug Bates signing off for the now. And feel free to leave a comment, and that's about it. So bye-bye now. And oh, by the way, that's a mirror upside down of reflecting because I have a mirror above my bench. That's what that is above me. Bye-bye now.